Let's get right into it. Today, we're diving into the biggest US retail collapses in recent years. Some of these will absolutely shock you. Household names, brands that have been around for generations, just couldn't keep up. It's a little scary how fast things can change in business. You might think a company is too big to fail, but that's just not true anymore. Shifting consumer habits, e-commerce, debt, and bad management all play a part. Nostalgia doesn't pay the bills. If you don't adapt, you get left behind. So let's look at what happened, why, and what it means for the future of retail. We'll start with the stunning bankruptcy of Saks Global in 2026. Then, we'll rewind and look at other giants that have fallen, from Bed Bath & Beyond to Toys R Us. Stick around, this is a wild ride. Let's start with the shocking bankruptcy of Saks Global in 2026. Saks Fifth Avenue was the pinnacle of luxury retail, a symbol of high fashion. But the pressures of the mid-2020s proved too much. The company split its e-commerce from physical stores in 2021, initially praised as genius. However, this created a disconnect, leaving physical stores to languish. Ultra-fast fashion and luxury brands investing in direct-to-consumer channels chipped away at their base. Saks Global tried reinventing stores with champagne bars and spas, but it didn't solve core issues. They were stuck in the middle, not exclusive enough for the ultra-wealthy, too expensive for aspirational shoppers. The debt from store renovations and operating losses became unsustainable. By early 2026, Saks Global filed for bankruptcy, closing iconic flagships. The e-commerce business survived, but the collapse served as a warning to the industry. It proved even glamorous brands could fall if they failed to adapt. A stark reminder of the brutal forces of the modern market. Now let's talk about Bed Bath & Beyond, a collapse that hit home for millions. It was the go-to place for everything, famous for its 20% off coupons. But the cluttered, overwhelming approach became a liability as online shopping took off. Why wander a messy store when Amazon delivers tomorrow? Bed Bath & Beyond was slow to adapt with a clunky online experience. Competition from Amazon, Target, and Walmart intensified. They offered stylish, affordable decor, making Bed Bath & Beyond an extra stop. Sales declined, and management seemed unable to stop it. A major overhaul strategy failed, alienating loyal customers. The financial situation worsened, with cash burning at an alarming rate. Suppliers demanded cash up front, squeezing finances further. In April 2023, Bed Bath & Beyond filed for bankruptcy, liquidating all stores. Overstock.com bought the brand name, but the era of piling carts high was over. A classic case of failing to see the writing on the wall. The brand name and intellectual property were eventually bought by Overstock.com. But the physical stores, the coupons, and the era of piling your cart high with everything from bath towels to bizarre kitchen gadgets were gone for good. It was a classic case of a retailer failing to see the writing on the wall until it was far too late. A cautionary tale of failing to adapt to a changing retail landscape. Sears' story perfectly illustrates a slow, painful decline. Once a titan of American retail, Sears sold everything from clothes to houses. But its decline was a death by 1,000 cuts over decades. Diversifying into financial services distracted from core retail. Competition from Walmart and Home Depot was fierce. Sears stores looked dated, stuck in a shrinking middle ground. They missed the e-commerce boat, failing to integrate online and physical stores. The 2005 merger with Kmart focused on cost-cutting, not innovation. A toxic corporate culture halted meaningful progress. Stores fell into disrepair, becoming depressing places to shop. After years of losses, Sears filed for bankruptcy in 2018. a textbook example of complacency and mismanagement. The Sears that dominated American life is gone. Its collapse is a lesson in failing to adapt and innovate. A cautionary tale of what happens when a company loses focus. A reminder that even giants can fall if they don't evolve. JCPenney, a classic American department store, faced a century of struggle. Known for private label brands, it occupied a middle ground. The 2012 hiring of Ron Johnson was a turning point. His radical vision to reinvent JCPenney backfired. Loyal customers loved sales and coupons, not everyday low prices. Sales plummeted, and the company lost billions. Johnson was fired, but the damage was done. JCPenney struggled to recover, burdened by debt. Off-price retailers and fast fashion brands squeezed them further. The COVID-19 pandemic was the final blow. JCPenney filed for bankruptcy in 2020, a predictable end. Acquired by landlords, it emerged a smaller version of itself. A cautionary tale of losing touch with customers, a reminder of the dangers of failing to adapt. The collapse of Toys R Us was emotional for many. A beloved part of childhood, it faced immense pressure. A 2005 leveraged buyout saddled it with crushing debt. Cash was used for interest payments, not innovation. Stores looked old, prices were high, and service was lacking. Outsourcing online sales to Amazon was a baffling move. Competition from Walmart, Target, and Amazon was fierce. Toys R Us couldn't compete with loss leaders in convenience. Debt prevented meaningful strategic changes. In 2017, Toys R Us filed for bankruptcy, hoping to restructure. A disastrous holiday season followed, sealing its fate. In 2018, it announced liquidation of all US stores. The closure left a void in the toy industry, a victim of debt, competition, and failure to evolve. A reminder of the importance of adapting to change. Neiman Marcus, a luxury titan, faced its own bankruptcy. A 2013 buyout loaded it with debt, limiting investment. Online luxury retailers gained traction, offering convenience. Top brands focused on direct-to-consumer sales. Neiman Marcus struggled to attract younger shoppers. Debt and declining sales showed signs of distress. The COVID-19 pandemic was the final blow. In 2020, Neiman Marcus filed for bankruptcy. It emerged leaner, shedding billions in debt. A reminder that luxury alone isn't enough for success. A lesson in adapting to new retail realities. Lord & Taylor, America's oldest department store, faced a historic collapse. Founded in 1826, it struggled to define its place in the modern market. Ownership changes accelerated its decline. The sale of its flagship building signaled fading prestige. A 2019 acquisition by Le Tote was a risky move. The strategy to merge old retail with new failed. The COVID-19 pandemic was a fatal blow. In 2020, Lord & Taylor filed for bankruptcy, closing all stores. A 194-year-old legacy ended unceremoniously. A reminder of the challenges facing traditional retailers. A cautionary tale of failing to adapt to change. A historic end to a remarkable chapter in retail. So there you have it. From the luxury halls of Saks and Neiman Marcus to the family-friendly aisles of Toys R Us and JCPenney, these retail collapses show how quickly the landscape can change. The common threads? Crushing debt, a failure to adapt to e-commerce, and fierce competition from leaner, more focused players. The one-stop shop era is fading, replaced by niche online brands and low-price giants. To survive, you must obsess over your customer, invest in technology, and stay nimble as the market shifts. The winners? Brands offering extreme convenience, unbeatable prices, or unique experiences. Which retail story surprised you most? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more business insights. We'll see you in the next video.